Hello, besties. Welcome to another Martinez with Eddie. I'm so excited to bring you the next special guest. For those who don't know, obviously, because you might hear my accent, you might not know that I'm actually from New Jersey. And there's nothing that excites me most than speak with a fellow Jerseyan. So tonight, I'm bringing an exclusive interview with no other than Laura. Laura is somebody very special tonight because she was a friend of somebody from the cast, and we're gonna go and spill so much tea about it. I hope you guys are ready because here she is, Laura. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to have you tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I reach out to you and I ask you, and you said yes. I will come to your show and we'll spill some tea together. We're gonna have a nice conversation. First of all, we are both from Jersey, so we are not shy on telling how it is. So
Exactly.
we are gonna have a good time. First of all, Laura, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I work in the legal profession and I also have my real estate license. I'm married to my amazing husband, Dave, and I have one son who's 30 years old.
Oh, so wait a minute. I want you to tell me you are in the real estate business in New Jersey.
Yes.
You know that I started taking the Jersey classes and stuff before I moved out to New York for the because of the pandemic, and now I have my license up here in New York.
Oh,
So
you do? We could do a
yeah,
New Jersey, New York collaboration.
that's right. Yes, and I know that you cannot know where I live because you have also a property up in the Adirondack area in the north of New York. That's where I live.
I do. Yes.
So, Laura, one question. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are wondering how you and Margaret connected, like how you guys became friends.
We grew up in the same town and we met when we were 12 years old.
Wow. So you guys have been friends for a very long time.
Yes, we have. We had some breaks in between for no reason in particular. But yes, we reconnected and we were very good friends.
In the years you guys were friends, like was that the type of friendship where you both, were always like together, having a good time, or was a rocky friendship?
No, no, we were together, always had great times. Our husbands were very good friends. We were constantly together.
And what led to the fall of you two? Like you said, I mean, you have a great friendship. What was the reason you guys stopped talking?
Well, there was a lead up to it, and the little things are not really important. It kind of was. I spoke my mind to her about how I felt. I felt like she was really disregarding my feelings regarding something. And really, more importantly, is what I want people to know is why it ended is because she's a narcissistic, inconsiderate, ruthless, low down monster with no heart and a black soul. And she has zero ability to self reflect. And for me, I didn't know who she became. And it was just really over for me.
Do you think that the show changed her?
Yes, definitely.
So, like a lot of the actually little things started to happen when she became a member or cast member of Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes, I started to not even know who she was anymore. I mean, I think she probably always had it in there, but we were friends. And, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love her and respect our friendship because I really did. And I was very loyal to her.
And there was any particular moment where you felt like that loyalty that you had for her, but she didn't have for you was like broken, and you decided to just part ways. Wasn't that part way hard for you guys?
I mean, it was very hard for me. It was Christmas time. We spent our holidays together. It was probably a week before Christmas, and I really thought she would call. And, we would spend our holiday together, but she never did. And that's when I started to really realize that, she wasn't going to apologize to me.
Ooh. So I mean, I'm just guessing that all these years you guys have been friends. I mean, she probably shared a lot of stuff with you about people, especially on the show.
She did. Yes, she
And
did.
anything in particular that you feel like we probably know or want to share with us that it's important for you to like share with everybody.
Well, I mean, first off, yes, there were a lot of things that she told me, but, number one, right off the bat, the Evan and Jackie rumor was totally started by her. She told me about that long before it was ever on the show. I heard about it. I heard about this gym that Evan went to. I heard a lot of things. So I know it came from her. And I know that when Joe B mentioned it, it was the truth. It came from his house.
And it's so funny because especially that rumor is also always pinpointed towards everybody else but Margaret in the show. Like everybody felt like it was either Teresa trying to find stuff or Jennifer Aiden trying to find dirt on them. But you said that you knew way before even was on the show because Margaret shared with you.
Yes, there were many things, including the fact that she was trying to take Louis down and Bill Aiden. I mean, I saw those things. I sat right in her kitchen and saw the DMs on her phone, her trying to investigate and get information on Louis.
Wait. So she was actively trying to find dirt on Louis.
Actively, 100%. I saw it right in her DMs.
Hey, do you know who she was reaching out to?
She was speaking with the ex-friend of an ex-girlfriend of Louis. I'm sorry, she was speaking to the best friend of an ex-girlfriend of Louis.
Or she was really trying to get the dirt straight from the people who were near, I mean, close to Louis. And
Yes.
okay, it's so funny because she kept denying that part on the show.
She always denied it, but I know she was trying to decimate him. And look, he lost his job over all of this.
Yes. Yes.
So, while she's laying in her bed with her iPad and being Mrs. Magnum PI, she should worry more about where her husband is with Joe Gorga.
You heard that, you guys. I did not say it. I mean, it's true. I mean, it is true. I've been saying this for a very long time. It always feels like, especially this woman, Margaret, she's always trying to, add some type of like gasoline on somebody else's marriage and not trying to see what's happening in her own home.
Exactly.
So,
Especially when her husband and Joe Gorga were in strip clubs, groping and grabbing.
wow, I have a question here, even though we already asked that. I wanna show it to you because some people are just joining.
Okay.
Um, did you stop talking to Margaret, or Margaret started stop talking to you?
So we actually were in a texting situation, and she made me feel bad. She just has no regard for anyone's time. She doesn't respect friendships and relationships. And it was not about the fact that she didn't take me to a party that she had asked me to go to. It was about the fact that she had decided that she was now taking her husband and didn't even tell me until I asked her. And, she doesn't think about anyone else and, their plans. And I told her how I felt about it. And with her, you can't really speak up to her and tell her how you feel, because if you're not kissing her ass and telling her everything she wants to hear, she's not happy about it. But you know what? I'm not one of her paid minions, and I don't do that. And I never would wait in the corner like an accessory, like she wanted me to be, till she, dragged me out.
Why do you feel like some of the ladies in the show, I'm talking about the people close to Margaret, do you think that they they are afraid of her in some level, that maybe that she had dirt that she knows about it and they don't want that to be released to the public?
Yep, I do.
Hmm. I now, because now that you are saying that, I'm trying to put the puzzle together, and as a viewer, I've been watching this show for a while. Now it kind of clicks that you said, like, like you are not one of her paid minions or people who kiss the ring, and I'm like, that makes sense because a lot of people on the show that get close to her, it seems like, are people who either know Margaret has something on them or know that Margaret actively look for dirt on people and they are afraid that she's going to spill the tea on them with the dirt that she has on them.
Well, I mean, that's her MO. She sucks you in. She makes you feel like she's your best friend, and she'll do things for you so that you feel like you owe her, and then she'll get you close, and then you'll confide in her, and then she has your secrets and she can hold them over your head.
I have a question here that I want you to, I want you to talk on this because I'm pretty sure you want to clarify this part. This is coming from Joseph Kosher. I hope I read that right. Was part of the falling out due to Marge not championing you, Laura, to be on the show? Can you talk more about trying out for the show and Marge sabotaging your chances?
Sure. So it was no secret that I was interviewing to be on the show, and the falling out had nothing to do, even though she will try to portray that because she has a big platform that she can go and say this on and get people to believe her. The falling out had nothing to do with the show. It was in December. It was around the holidays. We did not have a fight with anything to do with the show. There was nothing to that.
So it was not because of the show. But do you think that Marge has anything to do with sabotaging your chance to be on the show?
I don't know if she sabotaged it. I can't say for sure. I do know that since all of this, I've gotten messages from people who told me that she was actually had put them in for interviews the same years that I was interviewing. So I'm not sure why my supposed best friend would be doing that and trying to help someone else get on the show if she really wanted me on. It's a little suspicious to me.
I have a question from Caitlin Marshall. She's asking, is Margaret the bone collector of New Jersey? Bone collector is somebody who just looked for dirt to keep it until she needs it.
Of course. I don't call her Mrs. Magnum PI for nothing. She digs. She'll talk to
Oh my!
anyone to get information.
Oh wow! And talking about information, I know that you contacted Jennifer and Teresa based on what we saw on the latest episode. Also, a question coming from Caitlin Marshall: how do you get together with Teresa and Jennifer Aiden?
It's pretty simple. I called Teresa.
And Teresa was like, her interest to talk about with Teresa was mainly because of Melissa or something else.
Definitely not. Melissa was never mentioned when I called her. I never mentioned Melissa. There was no interest from her about anything. It was me calling her, saying that I knew things and it was pertaining to Margaret, and that was really the gist of it. And then we met.
This is coming from Lauren. She's asking, what do you say to Teresa and Jennifer in the meeting? If you can share some of that information.
Well, it was a long meeting, and we were together for quite a few hours, and we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the things that I knew about the castmates, and things that Margaret had told me. We spoke about. I told them that I knew that she would go to Bravo executives and she would try to get her castmates fired. That she would say that nobody wanted to film with Jen. She would say that Jackie was too weak and emotional and wasn't cut out to be on TV. She did a lot of things and said a lot of things, and I was relaying to them things that I thought were important. But most importantly, what I wanted to tell Teresa was the fact that I knew that she was still going to come for Louis, because I saw those DMs, and I was still friends with her the prior year when they had filmed that whole season. And I knew that she wasn't done. And I knew that she was still going to come after Jen and Bill, Aiden. So
So
there
the
was a lot.
main so the main reason to talk to Teresa was just share with her the information you had about Margaret actively going after Louis and still wanting to go after Louis.
Correct. It was mainly about Louis and, the fact that I knew that she was trying to dig up anything she could find on him.
Hmm. And I, I, I I want to make sure people who are listening and watching right now, this is the important part to remember because a lot of people out there are calling Laura thirsty because she is sharing something or she reached out to Teresa to talk about Melissa. No, this was nothing to do with Melissa. Melissa came to be after or during the conversation because Margaret shared with you information about Melissa.
Correct. Margaret did share that information with me. And of course, people are going to call me thirsty. If you want to get on TV, I guess you're kind of thirsty, but I could have in my interviews mentioned all of this stuff about Melissa. I could have mentioned everything that I knew that I had heard previous. I never in my interviews said anything. So if I was so thirsty to get on TV, why wouldn't I have told producers what I knew?
I agree. I mean, you got something right. I think it's funny when people call people who wants to be on a show thirsty. I mean, we all want some kind of that. We want that attention. We do this because we appreciate in some level sharing our lives, open our home to the world, and that's completely fine. I mean, we all have a little bit of thirstiness in within us, but you are correct. If you really wanted to use that information to join the cast, you had that ammo for years.
Correct. I could have used it and I never did.
I yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think people out there need to realize that sometimes their favorite person on the show is not as clean and as they think they are. So that should be
I know.
it.
He always does somehow escape from it, always looking like she had nothing to do with anything. But believe me, she's a friend to no one but herself. She's loyal to only herself. That's who she cares about. She talks about everyone and their personal business. She talks about it like it's no big deal. You can't confide anything in her without her spilling to everyone.
We have a message from Crystal, and I want to share this with you because I want you to know that there's people out there who support you and supports you coming on my pod tonight and share your story. Crystal says, Laura, we know you're not thirsty. It's just time the truth about the true villains finally comes out so they can stop blaming Teresa and the truth set us free.
Well, thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that
Yeah.
because it is the truth. I have no reason to lie. There was no reason for me to lie. I said from the start, I don't know what Melissa did. All I know, I only relayed what I was told. That was it. I don't know if she did it or didn't do it, but I just said what her good friend told me. Her good friend who also said that she should leave Joe Gorga and marry a baseball player. That's the kind of guy she should be with. That friend.
Oops.
You know,
Yep. I have a question here. We kind of talked about this before. But once again, people join. Um, do you think she was a loyal friend to you, or she was using you? I'm guessing this is about Margaret.
no, I believe that we were truly friends. I don't think you can be friends with someone since you're 12 years old, and it doesn't start off like that. I think through the years, the fame got to her, and she just was not really loyal anymore and very inconsiderate.
True. Uh, Talking about Melissa, I know that you share something with Teresa. I don't know if you are comfortable sharing the information or you just want to maybe share how you feel about Melissa in general. I know that you probably are not in great terms because the whole entire mess that's happening right now.
No, I mean, listen, I had no bad feelings about Melissa. I only relayed what I had heard. And, 2 weeks ago, I sat in the same restaurant as her, and she had every opportunity. If she really wanted, I know if somebody said something like that about me and it wasn't true, and I had the person right in front of me, I would have confronted them. And I was more than willing to tell her what I heard from her great friend, Margaret. But she never approached me.
Hmm. Do you think that maybe not approaching you is a sign of maybe trying to avoid the confrontation because she feels like the dirt that that Margaret has on her is true?
It could be. I mean, it seems kind of odd that she wouldn't have approached me.
Yeah. Aaron is asking, are you friend with anyone else on the cast of New Jersey right now?
Jen and I have built a very nice friendship.
I love Jennifer. I think she is fun. I love her Instagram post. I met her during BravoCon very briefly. I love Jennifer, so I'm happy that you guys connect. I think part of the issue with I think Margaret and Jennifer is that I think in some level Margaret sees Jennifer as the person that she maybe wanted to be, or maybe that like some kind of like maybe I don't know. It seems a little driven by jealousy, perhaps.
I think that there's a lot of that in her. I think there's a lot of jealousy towards a lot of people with her, and she tries to mask it. I think Jennifer is very quick with her words, and she keeps Margaret on her toes, and she doesn't like that. Margaret likes to prey on people who she can get over on and make a fool of. That's what she likes to do. And she can't do that with Jen because Jen is very good with her comebacks.
True. There is a question here. I mean, once again we spoke about this before, but I just want to make sure that people get the answers. Uh, Crystal is asking, so was the Evan rumor true, or did Margaret just make it up?
Again, I don't know for sure. I don't know firsthand if it was true or not, but Margaret told me that. She told me that she heard it, and apparently it originated from someone in a gym in New Jersey. And I think it was the gym that Evan went to. And apparently, this woman also went to that gym.
So there you have it, you guys. I mean, we can always say like, Laura, you just go by what Margaret had said to you. That's all we can say right now.
I mean, I didn't see anybody cheating. I can
That's
tell you
right.
that. I only am repeating what I was told by her.
Um, what is your opinion on the show? I'm pretty sure you're watching it currently, and you know that your name has been brought up many times. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a great show. I think the ladies are bringing the drama like they should. Um, Sometimes I think the storylines go a little too far, and you know, they just cross the line. But I think it's a great show, and I think that this storyline that was never supposed to go anywhere, I think it's kind of ironic how it wound up out there.
Hmm. Yes. We have Joseph once again asking, does Laura think that the reason for Marge being so quick to dig up stuff on her castmate is to cement her place on the show and deflect from her financial issues?
Of course, she's got no storyline. She doesn't have anything going on. So if she focuses on her castmates and brings some drama there, I think that she thinks that it will keep her place.
I think it's interesting because as I watch the show, we know in Jersey, family is very important. You know, we both are. I mean, I grew up in Jersey. I moved to Jersey when I was 13. I mean, you are from Jersey, so you understand the meaning of family in Jersey. And honestly, from the perspective of Margaret, I never felt like she fit into this Jersey concept of family because if you watch the show previously, you see the Menzo, you see the Gorga, the Judices, and I don't know. And then you start adding Margaret. You're like, yeah, you're right. She doesn't have the same storyline, or she doesn't have that like interesting story without her going after her castmates.
Correct. She doesn't really focus so much on family. It's just not part of it, whether they don't want to be part of it or, all the things that we've heard. I will say this, though. She does have an amazing son, and I would never, ever say anything bad about him because he really is truly amazing. And, I thought he was a great guy.
There is a question here from Monique. She's asking, do you feel like Melissa and Margaret want Teresa off the show?
I mean, well, that's a given.
They've been trying for a long time.
I don't think you can't get the queen off the show.
Amen. I have a question here. I wanted to read because I want to give a platform to everybody. Somebody's asking, do you feel you owe Melissa an apology for spreading this rumor about her?
I actually didn't spread the rumor. I told someone in a closed room. So I didn't spread the rumor, and it was never meant to get onto the cameras. And I was more than willing to speak to Melissa privately and tell her where I heard it and that she should be careful. But that never happened. And for whatever reason, why, how, I don't know, it got out there, and this is where we are. But do I apologize to Melissa? I guess, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's the non-apology of the Bravo universe. I love that. Now you are ready to be on the show because that's the typical non-apology apology in the Bravo universe. I guess I'm sorry.
I mean, I never wanted to hurt her or her husband or her kids, and I didn't say it on TV.
I mean, that's a good point. I feel like you shared this with them because you were asked about it. You didn't just like we mentioned that before. The topic of the conversation was never Melissa. It was Margaret actively looking for dirt on Luis and ways to go after Teresa and Luis on the show. That was the conversation about.
But we were in deep conversation about everything. We spoke about everything. I chose to tell them. I didn't go there with the intention of telling them, but I chose to tell them. And, I take the blame for that because I did say it. And that's all I can say.
I agree. I want to ask you, this is like off topic, but it just happened last night. I just want your opinion on it. You don't have to go into like deep into this, but since it was asked, what are your thoughts on Joe Gorga running into Joe Judice and posting the video online, then Gia commenting, and then Melissa accidentally commenting for Joe? That's been going on in the Bravo universe since last night. It's been a topic since last night, and I just want your opinion on it. If you watched the video, if you got to watch it.
I did see it, and messy, messy, messy. All I can say. And also, look at Joe Judice's face. He doesn't even look like he really wants to be there. And how did it mysteriously get filmed?
Well, that's a good question. We should ask that question, like why it was that film, and it does feel like if you watch it, I feel like Joe Judah didn't even know what was happening. He's like, okay, I mean, let's hug it out for now. It was messy, especially the whole Melissa commenting as Joe, and they had to delete the comment. And it was like a whole explanation that, oh, Joe had my phone and he posted it over my account. I was like, I don't know. It seems suspicious to me.
There's no brains behind that operation.
Oh my gosh. Um, Anything that you want to share with us? I don't want to take much time. I know you had shared a lot, and I have many questions here that we already answered, you guys. I'm not ignoring. I know people are asking why Laura and Margaret are not friends anymore. We spoke about this in the beginning. If you want to just run down real quick before, because I came, Mama just showed up and said, if you want to answer, why are you and Margaret not friends anymore?
Okay, K Mama, because she is a narcissistic, inconsiderate, ruthless, low down monster. And she really has no heart. None. That's
There,
why. And
there
she
you have it.
changed and she did not like me speaking up to her and telling her how I really felt. She wanted me to just be one of her minions and yes her to death. But as I said, I don't get paid and I'm not yesing her to death.
There you have it. And like I said before, we spoke in depth about it at the beginning of the show. So it will be live. I mean, it will be on my podcast after this. So you can find that on any platform. So you can listen to the whole conversation. Um, One more question for you. Uh, do you want to share anything that happened between you and Melissa that you felt like it was really out of line? Anything that happened between you guys, you feel like maybe Melissa hasn't gone that far between you or her or your family or anything like that?
Between Melissa and I,
Yeah.
nothing ever happened between Melissa and I. There was nothing, we exchanged pleasantries when we saw each other. I had been to her house for a party. There was nothing between us. So that's all I can say. But I do want to say one other thing. I just want to address the fact that Margaret came for my husband and his recovery and his sobriety, which I take very seriously. And I just want to say, if you come for him, you come for me, and the gloves are off.
Wait, so she mocked your husband's recovery? That's what she did?
Yes, she said no one is in recovery. She posted it on social media, and my
Uh-huh.
husband, it is going on 8 years now that he is clean and sober. And for her to mock that, when I have text messages from her saying how proud she is of him and how great it is, it's disgusting. And she needs to be held accountable for the things that she says and does because they're very hurtful. And that was his story to tell, not hers.
Uh, yeah, that was not her place to do. I don't think anyone should mock anybody's journey. That was his and only his to talk on and allow him to be open about it on his own term. I think that's really disgusting.
It really is. It was very hurtful and mean. And I really, just when I thought she couldn't stoop any lower, she does it again.
Well, I guess there's no fixing friendship in here, opportunities or anything like that.
I never say never to anything. I don't think we're in that place, but she's the one who has to answer up for all the things she says and does.
I want to share this with you because I think this is also important to share. It says, Crystal, it says, I love you, Laura. I'm 7 months sober as well. How disgusting for her to speak about that. So sorry.
Well, Crystal, congrats. Keep it up. You can do this. And she really is disgusting. It is horrible for someone to speak on someone else's sobriety. I don't know what would have possessed her to do such a thing. And to also say that no one is in recovery. I guess she meant he's not in recovery. I'm appalled by that because anyone who's in recovery knows that every day is a struggle. And for her to do that is very harmful and very, very mean.
I want to ask you this to kind of like close the conversation, especially because I know you said that you had tried for the show and you feel like maybe there's kind of like a little sabotage. I mean, you don't feel that way, but it feels like it like from far away. But Caitlin is asking, Laura, would you ever consider coming on Housewives of New Jersey as a friend of to Jen Aiden now that you guys are friends?
Of course, yeah. I love hanging out with Jen, and we have a lot of things in common, and we've built a really nice friendship. So, yes, of course, I would consider it.
Well, Laura, I don't want to take more of your time. I appreciate everybody who came here and joined us tonight in this conversation. anything that you want to say before we leave?
No, I just want to say thank you. And, I appreciate you giving me this platform because I don't have the big platform that Margaret has to say my piece and to basically stick up for myself while she maligns me and, goes and says things about me that are not true. So I really do appreciate it. And, thanks to everyone for all their questions. I hope that I answered everything. And one thing I'll say is I always, always tell the truth, whether it hurts me or not.
And thank you, Laura, for coming on my pod. Tell your truth. This platform that I created was for to give everybody the opportunity to speak their mind. As you can see, I do this live. A lot of people come and join and ask questions. Some are pros, some are cons, but we give the platform to everybody to speak their truth. And I'm very happy that you accepted my invitation and we got to have this open conversation. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your openness. Thank you for sharing that story about your husband too, because like you said, that was not her story to tell.
Correct.
Period.
And thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Okay, you guys. Thank you, Laura, so much for coming tonight. And thank you, everybody, for joining. The podcast will be live soon. You can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget that we have more tea to come, more episodes to come. Jersey's coming out tomorrow. We'll be doing the recap. And once again, thank you, Laura, for being here and speaking your mind and speaking your truth. And like I always say, besties, bye, besties.